Life is change. Change is God. And God is unchanged.
Changed and unchanged is the visible energy. It's order and chaos
visible
and
invisible reality are all.
Yeah.
The visible
Impose
and
and
invisible
superimpose.
reality are visible through my eyes. Oh well.
It's self-help, physical self-help, mentally, but folks, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, the wisdom, and we're still carnal, and sometimes we have these stumbling blocks, but spiritually, we're going to get through it. So the soul's here, the spirit's here, and we're here to project the world and the matter that we're making, and we're here to embody and personify the divine will, and hopefully through us, it gets better.
Yes,
it gets really better.
Yeah.
Now, what we take with us here, we
better.
take with us. Yes?
Amen, sister. Amen, sister. Hallelujah.
Well,
that's great.
Nervous. Well, working, Anna, have a good day tomorrow, and come back and see us when you can. Check back in.
I will catch up. Catch up.
Okay. Well,
I'll let you know how far I got.
Yeah, really, that'd be nice.
How far did God
folks,
take me?
You just have to look and see when we build these shows. I usually do one whenever I feel like it, but I've had 7 nights a week, and people, I guess I'm going to do. Can I do 9 o'clock? I'm wondering. Bill, what is it? Is it? I don't know. It just seemed like everybody tuned in at 9, which is 10 o'clock Eastern tonight. I don't know.
It was normally that way with me. Because I was out and about doing errands. I just didn't get back in time till then. But normally that wouldn't be the case for me.
I don't know
but
what time
Anna, I
we
wanted
should.
to wish you luck on that, or wish you well on that art project tomorrow. I hope that all goes well. And speaking of art, I got you mentioned earlier, TJ, about how that I do a lot with fractal art, and I got an amazing email on my birthday on the 16th, and it was like I was just so thrilled.
Well,
by
happy
it.
birthday, May 16th. That's right. I got deathly sick that day, but I'm glad that you had a birthday. So what happened to you on the 16th? I was going to teach, but I couldn't. I got sick. What happened to you?
Well, I got this email from a gal named Erica, who is the head of artist relations at a company called Vida. It's spelled V-I-D-A. It's out of San Francisco, California. And well, let me just read some of what she said here, and you'll see why I found it so thrilling.
Well, before you start, I just want to say goodnight to everyone. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, Sherry, I hope you check back in. And,
I will, Teresa. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and just come back anytime, check in, and look me up for my phone number, Sherry, if you want to call in afternoon.
I think I do want to chat with you because I want to talk to you about some of your books. But like I said, we'll save that for another topic, okay?
Sure. You bet.
Okay,
and come
my friend.
on Sunday, too, okay? If you can, Sunday, Bill and I will be here.
Yeah, we'll
sure.
be. No.
Okay, Bill. I'll listen in the archives about what you're saying about Vida. I want to hear it, but I've got to take a run real quick. So.
I understand.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Bye, Mary Lou. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll see you later. Talk to you later. So
Okay.
anyway, this is what Erica says. She says, from Vida. She says, I am writing today regarding your artwork and the hope that you will consider collaborating with us. I am writing from Vida, a Google Ventures-backed company that brings artists and makers together from around the world to create original, inspiring apparel in a socially conscious way. We are looking for artists with amazing technical skill and truly original work. We came across your artwork, and we'd love to work with you to translate your art into fashion. By way of introduction, my name is Erica, and I manage artist relations here at Vida. It's spelled V-I-D-A, so I keep wanting to pronounce it Vida, but it's pronounced Vida. Anyway, we specialize in converting 2D art into beautiful quality apparel and accessories. Also, each of our artists receives a portion of net revenues shared back for each of their designs sold. As part of our artist recruitment team, I would be thrilled if you would join us at Vida as a Vida artist by submitting your artwork, and they give me a place to do that. And in the meantime, if you have any questions and so forth. Anyway, that's the gist of it. And then she says, we would be deeply honored to have the opportunity to work with you. And I was just like, I was deeply honored by
we
like
were
getting
talking
this
about doing yours on fabric. Do you remember us talking about you doing your own on fabric? And that's what they do.
I really have long thought that my art would look great on fabric, and would merely make nice clothing as well, and made from that fabric. And that's what they do. It's not just where they just stick the picture on the front of a T-shirt. No, they apply the art to the entire piece of fabric and then make the garment from that. So,
and you get paid 10% of your net sales.
That's right, 10% of the net sales of any of the garments that they sell that has my art applied to it.
That's awesome.
And it's not just clothes, but scarves and other things. Even the men's hankies, like they stick in their jacket pocket. They
I wonder
call
if
it.
Anna could do Vida too, VIDA.
Well, any kind of artist. I don't know if they do it invitation only like this. They sent me this invitation, and I went and checked out the other artists there. And I got to say, I was almost immediately intimidated because it's like, oh my gosh, the caliber of artists they have. These are some famous people who have stuff in galleries all across the country and, in fact, all over the world. And indeed, there was even one of their artists who has artwork in the White House. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling out of my league. but at the same time, it's just an incredible honor for them to invite me in, to this.
Of course. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. I hope you do it. I think I think it's a good fit for you. I really do. Good.
And they're unlike some of these other places. Like I've worked with Zazzle for several years, in Cafe Press. Unlike those kind of situations, here it's like you submit the art, and then they have to go through an approval process, and then. If it's approved, then it starts being used, And I submitted 12 pieces earlier this morning, and they've already they accepted all 12 of them. So, hey, I think it's really a good fit.
Wow, excellent fit. If they took all 10,
all 12,
my goodness,
it was nice. I was surprised, delightfully surprised, I should say. But yeah, I think it is. It's going to be a great opportunity, and I'm very pleased to get it. What's funny about this is that the night before I actually read the email, I attended this class. There's a local organization here in Memphis. It's called Crosstown Arts, and together with Urban Arts and the Memphis Art League, there's like 3 different organizations that are working together to put on these classes that they're calling the hustle classes. And for basically the idea is for artists to get out there and hustle, to sell their work. It's all about helping artists with that whole marketing process. And so I took this class, and one of the speakers, he was talking about how that he got this great commission, and he was talking about these different things, different ways, and they were talking about the importance of having a website. And it was just like, it amazed me, I've had a web presence for quite some time out there with my art, and just haven't had that many opportunities come from it. But this guy was talking about how he's constantly getting calls from people, because of his contact information at his website. But then again, he had the advantage of he got like an interview with Huffington Post about his art, and so that kind of gave him some instant national notoriety. And so he gets calls all the time from people wanting to commission him for stuff. And he says, he was talking about this, having a bunch of his art in this lobby of this hotel, and he was showing slides of it.
And I've often thought that, too. Hotels, a lot of hotels across this country, they seem to really use a lot of contemporary art, abstracts and things like that, as far as the art that they use in the lobbies and even in the rooms. And I've long thought, too, that would be great. If I could just get that kind of deal, that would be a lot of prints. Because we're going to put those in hotels, maybe even across the country. And I thought, well, how do you get that kind of gig, And this guy said, well, they just called him up, And I thought, well, that just seemed hard for me to believe, And then I get home and I get this email. And it's like, oh, so it does happen. You get your stuff out there on the Internet, and eventually people do see it, and if they really like it, then they will contact you. And so I guess it does happen. I just wish it would happen more often, in my case, But, so we need to manifest that more often, getting these calls and these emails. But time will tell.
Well, hopefully it works for you. I'm happy for you. And it gives people an idea of what's going on out there. And I've got all mine, but I've got to get it back on camera ready. And I may do some of that because it just sounds exciting. People have different designs, and yours are very beautiful. So good luck with your colors and all that. And you use Photoshop, don't you, or no? Yeah, you do.
I process my images and I manipulate them in Photoshop, but I actually produce the images using fractal generators, different ones. I have different fractal generators that I work with. And then in Photoshop, I'll take the image and I'll manipulate it and put it through filters and do layering effects and that kind of stuff to create my own unique abstractions derived from the fractal stuff. So most of the time, it's not just a pure fractal image. It's a fractal that I have manipulated and tweaked, you might say, in my own way. But yeah, sometimes, every now and then, I'll do a render with the fractal generator, and I'll I don't have to do anything more to that. That's perfect as it is, In fact, one of the ones I submitted this morning was one of those. But most of the time, I'll go ahead and tweak it further and do my own thing with it. I like to do that part. For me, it's kind of almost a Zen-like experience as I'm sitting there at the computer and taking that image and manipulating it with these different filters. It becomes very processed. It becomes very Zen-like after a while. So if I sit there, really get into the zone, I might end up producing multiple pieces in one day, just because I get into that kind of groove, and it just flows. And you're right. The stuff, I don't know. It just is so beautiful. And I can't really give myself 100% credit for it. It's almost like there's I don't know what to call it. Sometimes as I'm working with this with these things, it's like stuff emerges just sort of spontaneously out of the process, and so that emergent thing, a pattern might show up that really wasn't even there initially, but as I've been manipulating the image and playing with it, this pattern will suddenly arise, and sometimes those patterns will be like faces. In fact, I did a whole series I call Fractal Faces, because just playing with that idea further and kind of intentionally taking it down that path to see what kind of weird faces I can come up with. And sometimes they can be quite exotic, and sometimes very alien looking, and sometimes they can look like monsters, and then other times they can look very pleasant, So it always varies, and like I say, sometimes it's almost like a synchronicity thing, where that pattern just kind of pops out. But as soon as I recognize that pattern, when I see it, I say, okay, there it is. So I guess that's the eye of the artist is when I can recognize when something comes together in a way that creates a beautiful composition, and then, okay, that's it. Sometimes it takes a lot of exploring. I like to call it that because it's really what it's like when you're working with fractals. It really is. You zoom in and you pan to one side or another. It creates this kind of virtual environment.